What else? What else do you do for dogs? I guess you have to help them put their boners away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Part of it.
Oh man, that's a good little.
All right.
Fucking, I don't know what that's
I
called.
just muted that so you can turn that back
I'm
on.
sure there's a comedy term for that to bring you back in.
Segway?
This thing-
Not really, but
It's not a segue though.
no, not really.
I guess it's a segue
So
back.
right now while it's working good.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing is fucking awesome. Ah!
We're golden
They sold
right
all
now.
those so quick. They sold out within a 24 hours.
Make sure
notice.
any
Yeah.
previews are on like
Crazy.
the lowest quality.
And one of them, the dude who bought it
It's like a
is
preview
like
here.
the son of
It's like
some
the
like
lowest
real estate
quality.
mogul in Hong Kong or whatever. So he was in Boston for the day, I guess. He bought the gun and nobody's seen it since.
I don't even know what color it
So
is.
this is posted on your Facebook, right?
Yeah, this jewel is
This
awesome.
is
Yeah.
this the Facebook one?
Yeah, that like makes the whole look of that gun.
Does the normal LV one have space for a jewel there?
Yeah, so normally it's milled out with the like the
Ego.
Eclipse logo or
This
yeah,
something
Ego.
crashed here, Dan?
What's up?
Page crashed.
Your YouTube page crashed.
That's okay.
Yeah, I ordered some. Well, not. I installed these weird Chinese drivers onto my computer,
Yeah.
and it obviously crashed.
Share this on your page.
Why
Yeah,
are
go
you
ahead.
installing?
No, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Has that joke been done? I feel like it's too easy to not have been done.
I'm sure it has been at some point.
All right,
No
so
doubt.
we're good here. Our live chat, or our chat is good. Make sure. Oh, you're just sharing it on my personal page, right? Okay, cool. All right,
Let's do this.
let's do it.
Okay. Let me know when we're started so I can.
Whoa, there's like fucking glass on this one. But I guess that's what you get when you get me into
Are we
special.
started? Can I share it?
Yeah, we're started.
Woo!
Share the
We're
Facebook.
live.
Huh?
Share the Facebook.
share the Facebook stream.
Not the YouTube, huh? Okie dokie. What's up, YouTube? We're gonna do 10 grand down.
We're doing much better right now.
No, we're not. We're not doing. We're having some
Yeah.
non-alcoholic Perrier.
Mm-hmm. Very classy.
Okay. Sharing post now.
Four people watching.
All right, so. Here, I guess.
I'm almost certain that it was the resolution size.
Well, the resolution, I changed it back to the same thing though.
To 1080?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying for the OBS.
Oh,
Because it was at
okay.
like 20. It was higher than 1080. Which is
Yeah, but I mean, normally we're at 1080. I don't know. I think it's something to do with, I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. I think it's,
Better
Benji's
safe than
O-ring is
sorry.
just too loose. That's what I would guess. Okay. So, let's see. I guess the other thing we have to do is just open up Facebook on here so we can see.
Do I look ag? Pew 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 pew.
You definitely look something, but I don't know what.
Pass me back that revolver. Where is it?
There you are, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy.
Appreciate it.
So,
I've just nerded out to the extreme. We're good to go.
how is our system looking? Our system usage
It's looking
looking?
great right now.
Oh, your systems are
Which-
broken.
Is our fan? Is the fan on this one?
Yeah,
Can I close anything else on here? Because I'm just worried about the
close all that.
audio shit.
Dan, this is lagging here at least.
That's okay.
Okay. Should I start talking while you're figuring shit out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Woo!
Okie dokie. So we're here. PBDnA live stream. It is Thursday. We're either in June or July. We're in the summer. It's
Some
too
point.
hot. I don't know.
It's miserable.
We're having fun. It's starting to heat up. It's still in the 80s and 90s here in Cali, so we're breathing. We're living.
Pause that.
We're gonna get our live stream started in a second here once Dan finishes fucking with the resolution. But
It's been a second for about a half hour now, though, so you know.
In the
2
meantime,
hours.
okay.
When you go to that wire.
So for those of you who haven't met Tim, meet Tim.
Hi.
Tim Kerigan.
Woo.
He has some of the nicest guns I've seen. So
I have a couple nice ones.
brought him over for you guys to show off some cool stuff for you guys.
Yeah, geek out about some of the cool toys.
All right, you got to show them that mini twister.
Oh, the mini twister, yeah. Cool. So, this thing is awesome.
So just like kind of hold it in the front there.
So, I can't actually see the screen. So, this is a ultra micro mini
Yeah, it
twister.
should be going.
So it's an original twister body, the pre-2Ks. It's mini, and then you can also see that there is nothing holding it together at the front end. Which is also why it's super rare, because they discontinued it after making only a handful of bodies. T2, I think, has said that they made 10 of them all together, and it's crazy light. There's like nothing to it left, and
Tim,
yeah.
your gun's invisible on stream.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can probably. Can you just turn the chroma key off or something? Wow, it is pretty insane. Do you have a block for it?
Hey guys, look at
Not
this.
yet.
Isn't it great? Doesn't it look beautiful? Look at these lines.
Very elegant.
So it's making my hand invisible too,
Yes,
right?
yes,
so
it
let me
is.
just do things to Dan now.
Well, my shorts are probably also already invisible, so.
You guys did not plan this out well with these colors, you know.
Think
come
about
on.
it though.
Oh, someone.
Think about
Who's
it.
the one bringing?
Do we ever plan it out?
Who's the one only bringing green guns?
So this is pretty cool. I really like how it's cut down around the valve chamber. Here.
Yeah, because it's the pre-2K spec, so the valve chamber is smaller, so they can mill it out way more than you could on a 2K. And it's actually going to get even lighter before I finish building it, so I'm going to mill off the sight rail.
Down here in the middle, just how
Hey,
nailed bare it is.
Tim, Anthony
Except
said
you
that
can't
he has
see it,
he has
right?
a block for you.
Yes, I messaged him about that,
So,
so I'm going to...
Wait, is the key off right now?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. So maybe you could go show it on
So we
Paul's.
still-
Oh yeah, on Paul's. That's
Yeah.
a good idea, yeah.
All right.
Show the valve chamber especially.
Yeah, so you can see
So what's that
on the
one
front
for?
end,
Just the
there is
Facebook
nothing
messages?
holding
Yeah, we
together
can see
up
both of
here.
our messages on there. But I guess you're
And,
watching
it's
messages on yours, right?
super
And we can
milled
see
down.
Tim moving behind there.
I'm not getting all the ones that you're getting on the Facebook.
And yeah, it's
lagging
just
or something.
crazy
Maybe
light
it just has to be refreshed. I don't
with
know.
basically nothing left on it. It's P-blocked on the back. And so what we're going to do to mill it even lighter, we're going to mill off the sight rail and convert the
Maybe
feed
I
neck
showed
to
the wrong
a LV1 Empire style stub feed neck
I'll
too.
refresh it.
So, yeah.
Are you actually going to do that, or are you just joking?
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to send it off
Okay,
to
yeah,
someone
fine.
to do it. But yeah, I am going
Oh,
to
man,
cut
you
up
should
a
just-
priceless body, and people are probably going to hate me.
How many of those did they make?
I think I've heard T2 say there's 10, but if he's watching, he can probably say better than I can.
Pretty cool.
So I know you were already thinking of e-blading it.
Yeah.
But I just want to bring up that you should probably race frame it.
I mean, you
'Cause
know,
you
if
want
you want to
more
hook me
holes.
up with some race gun parts.
well, I just think you need more
So you
holes
can have
in the
dual
body.
eyes.
Yeah.
And you can have a frame that essentially
Is the best.
is the best. Let's just leave it at that.
I mean, why don't you show?
you
We've got
Bill
that
Gates?
cool frame that we could put on it right now. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mock it up.
You could show what it would look like. So this is the prototype race gun frame made out of some kind of
A 90. It's
Plastic.
a prototype 90.
prototype.
Right? Because it's a 90 instead of a 45.
Right.
Is that
And
right, Tim?
it's made out of
Probably
some kind
Yeah.
of plastic or Delrin. Obviously, they didn't end up going with this one. But let's see what it would look like on this invisible gun.
You can show it on Paul's window.
You know, not bad.
Yeah, it does look pretty nice. I have to say.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
doesn't quite
Now we
match
should
the.
show off the pump twist dual. Okay, so my buddy Edwin called me up and hooked me up with a couple really nice guns, this being one of them. This is a pump twist dual made by McMurray, yeah?
By McMurray and Sons.
McMurray
well,
and
Mac
Sons.
1.
Mac 1.
And I'm not sure who actually did the work on it, if someone at Tim McMurray's shop was doing it, or if Stan Russell and Aaron Carter were actually doing it. But essentially, It's a pump twist duel, so it has 3 unique features. At the time, the KP, they were just K2s. So at the time, they were just K2 rifles. So
Which would have been bolt action.
Which would have been bolt action. So they added a pump, and they cut the full stock into 2 pieces. So that's why we have the front of the stock here and the back of it, and then it has a dowel rod right here.
Which is made out of wood also.
Yeah, so that's the pump, and then they twist the whole body, and that's why it's the twist. And so they have a second sear notch cut in it, and that actually allows the whole body to twist. And they actually have to add another inlet hole into the bolt from the valve. So that's the twist, and then the dual is because it's dual 12 grams, so it actually takes 2 12 grams in here. So you have one right here that faces forward, and then you have your normal 12 gram facing back. And
So
it's
your 12
also
gram plug is also a piercer.
Yes, your 12 gram plug up here is also a piercer to pierce the front 12 gram. And it also seals the chamber, and then if you were to turn it a little tiny bit, it has a gas hole drilled right here, which will vent the chamber before, obviously, the plug comes all the way out. So pump, twist, dual.
Yeah, and I gotta say the orientation of it, now that it's twisted, is pretty nice. So you can see that the feed tube is now top and center, and your barrel is on the left side. So it's just kind of unique.
Crazy.
I've never had a Sheridan with that kind of orientation, but it seems like it'd be fun to use. And,
I actually had assumed it would be a flat top, and that you would have your feed tube and the barrel at the exact same level. But looking at it now, I guess,
Right.
yeah, it's a little, your feed tube's a little bit higher. Another thing that they did here is they moved the actual front sight off the barrel onto the feed tube because the feed tube is on top, which is pretty cool. Although I don't know how it actually works with sighting, because you know you're shooting with your barrel,
Yeah,
but you're sighting on your feed tube. But
it's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
funny, and I gotta say, it's the sight on top isn't even dead center. It's kind
Well,
of
what
So
they did
maybe
is
that's
they
because-
what they did is they
Yeah, check it
used the actual feed tube front plug hole, and that's where the actual sight rail is. So just like on a PGP, you have that front sight. Obviously, on the early ones, they have the ramp front sight, but on the slightly, the more well-known and common ones, they have the little bead sight, and it is put into the front feed tube plug. So that's the same exact thing that we have here. So they just did that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
Pass it down
Vulcan
the line.
asked if that's a pain in the ass to change with 12 grams.
So I gotta say it's a little bit harder because the 12 gram plug has this big O-ring on it that seals it differently than a standard KP2 plug.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to work it in, but other than that, it's just a standard twist. You just need to make sure to have your 12 grams not facing the same way, pretty much. They gotta be ass to ass. And yeah, it's I guess a little bit harder than a normal KP2, but not too bad.
Damn, the stream looks really good right now.
So were these?
Are we still doing okay on there?
Yeah,
Sweet.
I'll show you the
Good job, Paul.
piercer.
Yeah, go for it. So was the stock on this original then, or did they drop it in a new stock?
It's the original
I
stock.
just
It's just
shredded my O-ring.
that's okay. I mean, I'll shred your other O-ring later if you want.
So there is
So it would originally
12
be.
gram changer. You can see the 12 gram plug. You can see the pierce on the tip of it. So you'd have one 12 gram going in that way, pierced here. Another 12 gram this way, pierced by this.
So originally it would be a K2, and so it would have the full
Right, it
stock
has the
because
full
there's no
stock,
pump.
yeah.
And so this is the original stock.
That they
It's
just
just
cut
they
down.
just
Yeah,
cut
they
it
cut it down and then
turn
drop
front
the
portion
dowel or
into-
whatever into
yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's
All
cool.
right,
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So I've seen 5 of these or something, and there's a couple of really nice ones. Benji's one is really nice. Mean Gene has another one that's really nice from autocockerparts.com.
You want to show that?
Hey,
Cool
Tim, Chris
contraption you got over there?
said that you should put dual eyes on your twist.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna put the race frame on it anyways, right?
Can we put let's put an Angel Sensi pad on it.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
oh, that's just mean.
Is that like
It's cruel.
Is that like a huge thing that hangs on the side?
No. Well, it was an integral part of the 2003 Angel Speed. I don't know if it was in any other ones, but basically it had the sensor pad at the bottom that the ball would hit and then it would register.
And it doesn't work.
Oh yeah, it never worked
At all.
So it was basically a micro switch
He
that had
also
to
wants you
be.
to half block it too.
It wasn't.
Oh yeah, I actually okay.
It wasn't a micro
So I
switch.
actually did originally when I got this body, and people will hate me for saying it. I wanted to mid block it because I wasn't sure if they were going to have a P block for it. So I wanted to mid block it so you could do it here. But the problem is and I'll show it on the camera here, with these bodies. So the new style twister cockers have the milling doesn't come up quite as far, but on these ones, it comes up a lot farther, so there's barely any room for anything to ride on here. You can't really see it. But basically, there's no room for a sled to ride on the body. So now we're gonna make it a full-bodied gun instead.
Cool.
Alexander Petrovsky says, "Ayo."
Hey, yo, what up, Alex? Hey. That's Dirtbags.
Oh.
Why don't you show off that beast?
Says you have a nice bong, Dan.
Who said that?
Jeff Quitman.
Oh yeah, this is my slice pump kit bong. So,
Gene, we need you to
actually
pump out a couple bongs for us.
Yeah,
bongs.
Paul actually had...
I need like a 200 round bong.
200 round bong. I mean, you would have gone through that whole thing already, though. And you definitely would have taken some hits.
Oh, that's
while
for sure.
Shooting it. So, yeah.
I want to know about that thing you got in the back.
Oh, yeah, that thing's crazy looking.
Let me set this one so I don't spill it.
Jeff says tobacco only.
Of course. What would you think we're smoking out of it? River?
So, this is the Tommy gun, and this is one of Aaron Carter's pumps. This is one of Aaron Carter's pumps that was probably built around '87, and it's actually hanging in the wall in one of the APG articles that Aaron's in, showing off his comp gun in the November 1987 issue of APG. And this is a bore drop pump, so normally Aaron did breech drop, which would be the shorter bolt where the ball falls into the breech and then it's pushed into the barrel with the bolt. But this one's actually a bore drop, so the ball falls into the bore and then it's pushed further forward into the bore with the bolt. So Aaron didn't make very many bore drops. There were some later model buzzards. Not later model, but you know, probably 1989, 1990 buzzards that were made in bore drop, and there were also some termites that were made around the same time, probably 89, 90, but this would be about 87. And so when we look at this, we can see a couple things. We can see that it very much resembles the very early comps that he made. So it has the valve body that isn't the standard Nelson valve body. It actually slides into the body right here, and it has a very small portion that sticks out the back, and then it has obviously dual pump arms for the bore drop bolt. It has it actually has highlighting. It's hard for us to see right here, but you can see there's actually gold anodizing highlights inside the holes, and that's on both the stock and on the pump handle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And they did that on some of these. I have another stock that has blue highlighting on it. It's for a Sheridan, but this is actually obviously a Nelson one. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So it's obviously a unibody, and I haven't actually looked at the bolt yet, so I can't really say if it would be compatible with anything else, but I believe it's a little bit unique. It's a little bit shorter than a standard like Bushmaster bore drop bolt. So about 87 on this.
That's cool.
We have two more comments. Jeff Quitman asks,
your turn, Tim.
Ambush this weekend, and Mitch Gaynor says he knows a guy who makes pod bombs.
Are you that guy?
So I want to know what's up with this thing.
As far as ambush this weekend, it's a maybe for me.
Also maybe, probably not, unless I can get my streaming thing working, which judging by today, I can never get
You're
anything.
supposed to show off your gun.
Oh, fine.
No, it's fine.
I was brought so many cool.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I got that whole bag full.
No, go for it.
I don't know what it is. I want to know what it is.
So this is a Mark I Uzi, not to be confused with the Mark II Uzi. So this is a cool little gun. It's got 12 gram adapter built in the back. So you just drop your 12 gram right there. It has an integrated hopper, so if you play with an Empire Defender, that's like a Mark Uzi V3.
Well, that would be like the V5 because there's already
or the V5. There's already the V4. All right.
I don't know if
V5.
there is actually a V3.
So you have the loader right up here. You get to the loader just by sliding this little trap door open. It holds 38 balls. Now this one is pretty much made out of all plastic aside from the trigger and some of the internals. That's one of the main differences between the 1 and the 2 is plastic barrel versus metal barrel and internal CO2 adapter versus external. And another cool thing was the Mark II does not have this little secondary trigger on the bottom, which we found out is actually the safety. So if you don't click that bottom trigger, you cannot pull the top trigger. So you need to hold it and fire. And I guess in some of the research that I did, all the field owners were complaining because nobody wanted to use the guns because they didn't want to pull 2 triggers at once. And,
but really, you're not pulling 2 triggers. You're just...
You really do need to focus on keeping it down.
You're just holding on to it. Like, you're not going to hold on with like a
It's
loose
not a
hand,
natural hold on. You just need to pull the finger a little bit more than you would naturally.
It seems like it's in a weird spot.
You wrap your hand around like this. For me, that's how I normally shoot. I always pull 2 triggers.
I don't know.
What do you think, Paul?
See, like right now I'm holding it naturally, and it won't shoot. I actually have to pull the trigger up a little bit, and then it'll shoot. Cool enough, it actually worked perfectly.
I just want to see you rip the pump handle off.
Years. I'm not going to do it.
Can you read the Facebook comment?
Eric said take off your shirts.
I'm not really...
I'll send you my PayPal
it's not
address
really
if I see
refreshing
$10 in
on
there.
It's still showing like
I'll let you see this nipple.
from
Just
like
that
10
one.
minutes ago.
No, here, we can...
Does it work on yours?
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
Rubber band around the lower trigger.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that would probably work.
Yeah.
A nice rubber band there.
You could probably even just take the lower trigger out if you disassemble it.
That's not as fun as having rubber bands, dude.
No.
How did you discover the love for old school paintball swag? Yeah, that's a good one. For me, I was kind of, my first gun ever was my brother's old 68 Automag that I found in his closet. So that's the first gun I started with. I didn't even know it was considered old school. It's just what I had to use, and ever since then I like mags and heavy guns and old stuff that just doesn't break.
I love
Other than this breaks.
I love your story about how you just chop like every ball with that mag. You just thought it was normal. You just thought that's what mags did.
Okay, so this Automag...
all guns
about
did
right.
that.
Yeah, I thought all guns did it. So this mag, I didn't know it had an auto response frame on it. So basically that means it did a shot for every pull and for every release. So this was an auto mag, and I had a 9-volt Revy on it. So that feeds maybe 6 to 8 balls a second. Meanwhile, I was shooting at 13 balls a second. So I was chopping constantly every single day. But as a kid with his first gun, I was like, all right, that's totally normal. You're just supposed to carry like 5 or 6 squeegees, and that's why the Automags are the best gun, because
you start with 5 or 6.
Yeah, exactly.
By the end of the day,
and that's why the Automag is the best gun, because when you
none.
chop 1,000 times, quarter turn, bam, squeegee. It was the best gun ever. It only chopped like 1,000 times a day. Yeah, that was fun. I'm gonna stop playing with this because I will shear the.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah, it's just gonna pop right off.
So as for me, we started with Tim 98s, and then we just found some Nelson long barrel unibodies, and we bought them for like 20 bucks each, and from there we just started, I don't know, buying other guns that we could experiment with. So that's basically it condensed down. What about you, Tim?
So I grew up not really playing with, the old school guns or anything. Everyone had shiny new high ends and everything. The field that I played at, though, did a pump game every year, and actually Rodney from RTR came to that game, and so he'd show off, a big museum like you have, and he'd have, ducks. He had one of the geckos, all sorts of cool old school stuff like that.
I think there's a YouTube video. Of
there is from Air
maybe
Sports.
It's one of those.
It's that field, yeah. And so kind of played with that, and that was the first time I got to play with the KP3. I was like, oh, this thing's just super cool. And of course, it was a totally custom. Now it was chrome plated. Someone had home built in everything.
So would Pirate Jim? Would he also go to those?
Yeah. He showed up to all those.
I think he would do the displays also.
Yeah, it was the paintball marshals, all them. Jim Massey, if you know him at all. All those guys. So yeah, that kind of always got me interested into it, and then I always kind of kept a lookout for cool old school new guns and everything, and yeah,
cool.
That's pretty much it.
Cool. Well, here is one of Tim's guns that I like the most. I'm going to let him show it off. But
Yeah.
That thing is awesome.
So this is, I call it a long-barreled PGP. It's a 2K PGP originally underneath the lower tube is. Then I had a bunch of work done by Ty McNear on it from MCB. It's rebarreled in 6.78 bore with spiral porting all down the barrel. It's a spring-fed side tube feed with I think 12 rounds in here. Then it's got a brass K-frame, so it's nice and heavy. This is a good home defense gun, I find. You know, you can always just club home invaders with
They're
it.
mostly all aluminum, right?
Yeah, they mostly make aluminum, and I just kind of lucked out when I was getting ready to have him build the gun that someone had a brass one on sale, and yeah, and then internally, Stuffy did all the valve work, so it's got, you know, enlarged passageways, the hammer and springs and all that, PPS Dyna valve, and other than that, it's all stock. But yeah, it's a fun little gun. Really fun to run around. It's
essentially
with.
Not stock.
No, not at all.
I think the coolest part is just that brass K-frame.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, like, I've had this for like 5 or 6 years now, so it's got a really cool patina on all the brass and everything.
It's pretty neat. It's almost green.
Yeah, and originally, you can't tell it all now, but originally we did it in 2 tones, so the body was sandblasted like a dust, and then the frame itself was polished, so it was really bright brass, and obviously it doesn't look
So
like that.
who did the porting? Did
Ty did all that too, yeah. So the deal with it actually was I had the PGP lying around, and I was looking to sell a zoom lens that I had, and I traded Ty all the work for the lens, and he wanted to test this out actually, so this is the first time I think he'd done it.
It looks very similar to porting that I have on my Blazer barrel.
Oh really?
Like the double spiral porting.
Yeah.
And then I also really like the front of the feed tube here, where it's actually
where it's rounded in and everything.
It's rounded, although you could get shot there and that would just ruin your
I haven't had it happen yet, but I always think about it.
You could just drop like a little something
inside like a little quarter or
Yeah.
something like that, dime maybe. Yeah, it's a little stiff. I gotta lube it up a little bit to give it a little.
It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Chris Santucci said, "No matter how many guns I buy and never use, I don't feel bad because I know you're worse."
What are you talking about?
Hey, he uses most of his guns.
Yeah, I have like 5 that I play with. So.
Yeah, like 5 out of like 1,000. That's like most of them.
That's not true. I don't have 1,000.
Chris
2,000.
Chris Caracappa.
He asked if he can get a dog copy back then.
No way, Chris. Sorry. Watch that Santa video, Chris. You'll see me shoot it.
Once it enters the bocce vault, it never leaves.
Oh, so T2 talks about, you know, he shot this gun at the Santa Shootout, which is a pump game they do every year at Boston Paintball. We have a great video from that. One of my buddies playing with this. And it's, you know, there's speedball field. So he crawls up to the snake, and like 3 guys go running down, and they completely miss him somehow. He just stands up and goes... Wow! Just headshot, and it's fantastic, and it's on video. Yeah, like a gentleman.
Vulcan, I don't do any airsmithing, but I do gun builds and rebuilds and such. If you do need airsmithing, we do have various people in the local kind of Cali paintball community who do amazing airsmithing.
Yeah, for sure.
So message me, I'll point you in the right direction.
Paul, we got some
of that.
We got some shout outs for VSB.
Hey Patrick, I'll send you the rest of the VSB gear I have. Just send me a shipping label.
Cool. I'm taking that stuff.
That's all I asked for.
Get out of here, Pat. I call it. All right.
Nice.
What's next?
Oh, how about continuing vein of guns that you can't actually see? We can show off the, so this is my Heritage.
So hand it to Paul.
Yeah.
Let Paul show it off, and then you can just talk about it.
So this one has batteries, so I know most of you.
I know, everyone's going to tune out now. It's a Heritage Twister LV1, so it's like the last, I think like 10 LV1s that Boston Paintball did of their Twisters. And they did them all in classic Eclipse splashes or fades. So this is the Bonsai Splash. And yeah, it's really cool. Shoots awesome. It's my only electro that I play with, pretty much.
But the other one you had was a CS one.
Yeah, I have a Twister CS1 too, but I like hardly play with it. I like this one so much better.
What is it that makes you like the LV?
You know, I don't know.
Is that an LV1 or a 1?
Yeah, no, so this is just a 1, not a 1.1.
Yeah.
Woo! The CS1 doesn't feel as good in my hands as the LV1 does, and
Yeah,
I just
the
like...
balance of an LV1 is very nice.
Yeah, and I just like the shot quality better, which is weird because I'm not really a pop-it guy. I like spool valve guns, but...
The LV1 doesn't shoot like any old egos
No.
that really just were loud and clacky and popped and kicked a lot. It almost shoots like it's a DM7 in an ego body.
Right, yeah,
Like,
I
with the
remember the first time I
efficiency,
picked
it's
one up to
amazing.
shoot, I was just like, this is an ego?
Yeah,
like,
it shoots like butter.
yeah.
I just
I
remember
love
watching
those
Paul
guns.
play with one, and he was just like behind this
Yep.
bunker, and he was just like coming out, and it was just like so seamless.
Yeah.
He just made it look like it was like an extension of his arm. Yeah.
And you
I
have to,
love the LV1. It's
Yeah.
my favorite
and
gun.
you got to
And that-
do nothing really to upkeep.
And that one was just like totally black too, right?
It was green, but it was just like a stock LV1.
Yeah, that one was sick.
Oh wait,
though.
I used to have a black LV1.
Yeah, I think it was a black
By
one.
the way, my buddy who bought your green one loves it.
Nice.
It's good stuff.
Dude, he's in NorCal.
Yeah.
Did not know he was your friend.
Yeah.
eBay, it was an
That's-
eBay sale, so.
No. You gave it to me. You sold it to him.
Sorry, and I
That's
had
a different
another
one.
green one
Right.
too. Yeah, I had another green one.
Okay, what else
Not much I
cool
love
to
all
show
these.
off?
So let's look at our talking points and see if we
Yeah.
can see what we have
Oh
to
yeah,
talk
we
about.
can't just talk about guns all day.
Yeah, we don't want to just talk
As
about
much as we
guns.
want to.
We talk about the new...
And zoning out when we're talking about LV1s.
I'm
listening.
Sound went out for a second, but is back up. I don't know what would have made it go off.
I think it's probably Patrick. I think his ears are cutting out from too many mail deliveries.
Inception design markers worth investing in.
Well,
I mean,
do you
investing
wanna
is kind of
invest in any paintball
a
things?
baited term, but I really like the Inception markers. They're
Yeah.
clean, they work very well, they're priced competitively, so yeah,
I'm a fan.
I was trying to trade for one this week, but it didn't go through, so I'm going to keep trying.
So what games have you guys played lately? What was the last game you played, Tim?
Super game.
Super Game. So overall, what were your thoughts on Super Game? You flew there. You drove
Yeah.
around with SoCal stock.
Yeah.
Danny had his car stolen,
We did, and we
If anyone else
balled in
went
an
to Super Game,
Escalade
tell
for
us
the
your
whole
best
time,
story.
you know?
and they were driving around in what? What was Danny in?
They actually got a nice car. We thought they were
Oh.
going to show up in something crappy, and they had a Nissan Armada.
Oh,
Yeah.
which is nice.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know.
It's a Nissan?
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, that was awesome.
Have you been to Super
That's
Game
my
before?
first time being up there.
Yeah.
And that was definitely one of the best, like, well-run big games I've ever been to.
Yeah, I mean, their schedule that they had, it was just like, we're doing the announcement at this time, show up or you're not going to see it, basically.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things that they actually did there was they did a raffle at any time they were doing, like, announcements. So it was like you wanted to be there. You wanted to see what they were talking about because they were going to draw tickets right at that same time.
And it's cool, too, that they, like, posted up the tickets, too. So if you didn't hear it, you could go and check and you're not, missing out on it.
I
or
didn't
anything.
realize that. I didn't even watch any of the ticket things.
I didn't win any tickets,
I
so,
found I got 2 or 3 things off that board. Just little knickknacks, a bag and some
Rad.
stickers and a shirt and a DVD.
So we were going to raffle some prints there, some paintballprints.com.
My
But
dad found those tickets. By the way.
yes, but we kind of fucked that whole thing up. So
We're still giving them away, but it'll be in a different raffle.
yes, there will be, and we did give some away. So actually, that brings us to the North versus South game that we
Right.
went to, Rich Telfords North versus South game.
So that was a couple weekends ago. We went up to Sacramento for North versus South, where Rich Telford put on a really nice event with the guys at the West Coast Adventure Park. And it was just a really nice event. There were no real issues. I think there were about 200 people total. Weather was nice. Games ran real well.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And we ended up giving away 2 prints.
Yes, we gave away 2 prints. We gave away a print of Rick Sendejas' Line of Sight Bushmaster, which he
And then,
would have used like 88, 89, and he has like a cool, almost like a Hitman grip on it, but it's
Right, he was the first
actually
Hitman mod.
yeah, he actually made that in 88, 89.
So should we be calling it an Iron Man mod instead?
Should be calling it a Sendejas mod.
Yeah. Well, his is angled. His is pretty cool. You can check that out on you know, some of the articles that I have up on it. And then there was the second print was Mike Baird's autococker. So Fatal Snot won, I think, the print of Rick Sendejas's line of sight Bushmaster. And then an airsoft player won Mike Baird's, but Jake from NorCal bought it from him, and I don't know what he's going to do with it, but
he seemed to really, really like it.
Yeah, so it was cool seeing both of those prints go to people who were really into them.
Yeah, who are really going to appreciate them.
Yeah.
So we are going to raffle off a few more in our next streams or over the next couple weeks.
We have to kind of figure out how we're going to do that, because we did find the tickets, so if you still have your tickets, hang on to them. Don't throw them away yet.
Yeah.
Don't wipe your butt with them yet. But I don't know. I don't know what we'll do with that. And then let's see what other games you did
a SoCal stock.
Yeah, we did SoCal stock at Jungle Island. We just put the video up from that. It was a fun day, although it was Jungle Island. It was hot, but that's going to be pretty much all of California for the next few months. And it was a fun game. We had we probably had 40, maybe 50 people out there. And the Jungle Island fields are looking a lot better now. They actually put a lot of work into them.
Yeah,
nice.
And actually, talking about fields putting work in, I heard that in the near future, that Combat's going to be doing like a $10,000 renovation on their upper fields, and they're going to be building like a 2-story town field.
Wow.
It sounds freaking awesome.
What's not to cut you off?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
What's the status with their airball? Do they have airball up now?
I believe they've had airball up for a while.
Awesome. Yeah,
it's reservation only, and they need, I believe, 10 teams.
Yeah, and it seems like they
signed up for it to open.
Oh, for them to actually blow it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that field was always a favorite of mine to play, so it's nice seeing some money being put into
I mean, even without the work, it's an awesome field to play, because they have so many courses that are in such a small proximity, and
and
they
even
all
though they're
play
not
really. The one I probably like the least is the one with the boats that's on the hill.
Terminator?
Is that no? I don't think the
tire
RVs
field.
is Terminator.
Yeah. The boat one. I've only played it when it's Critical Crew Day and there's 200 people on that field.
You just need to make it to the corners.
Yeah.
But yeah, even though the maps there aren't all that big, there's so many bunkers that each game goes so differently. You can backdoor someone using one of any different channels to get through. So. It's should be pretty nice to play.
I love Combat Paintball. It's one of my favorite fields because it's so close to us. But my favorite scenario field that I ever played at, or if you can say what's the other word for scenario?
Right ball.
Would be Jungle Island.
Which field at Jungle Island?
All of them. They're really solid.
But they got run down for a long time, but now they've been building them back up.
Yeah. The actual fields that are in direct sunlight, like the town fields and the fields that are on, I guess it would be the west side of the parking lot, I've always enjoyed, but the ones on the east side of the parking lot have just been washed away. So those are the ones that I've seen them rebuilding. So I don't know. We're playing there July 1st. So
here, before we get to some more questions, you should just I don't know if you want to mention your Bocce Mountain game.
People were talking about that.
Oh yeah, so we're going to be playing in Guerneville, which is in Sonoma County near Santa Rosa and Sebastopol on July 12th and 13th. And people can actually arrive on Friday, and we do a barbecue camp out for the whole weekend. From Southern California, it's about 8 or more hours. From San Francisco, it's about 1.5, 2. But it's pretty cool.
It's a very chill community.
Yeah.
Don't go there with an ego. It's all about.
Yeah. So Benji's not going this year.
I haven't been there a couple years.
We have a lower course, which is eucalyptus that we rake, and we take everything that we rake and we actually stack it on top of the bunkers that already exist.
That's awesome.
So each year they get a little bit higher, and now I think they're probably about, if I'm standing up, most of them are probably about here. Yeah, which is pretty cool. And they just keep getting higher and higher, and then more branches fall off the eucalyptus because bugs are eating them, and then we stack those branches up.
And occasionally you dive onto a bee nest or a wasp nest.
So I rake the courses and I pick up all the branches and I chainsaw all the trees that can impale people, but I don't kill the bees because bees are just part of it.
And only Dan knows where those bees are, so he'll force you towards the bees.
That's right.
And then that's when he gets it.
That sounds like a good strategy to me. I can't really fault him for that.
No. And then our top course.
Just don't get pushed near the cobra pit.
No, there actually is a snake pit. It's rattlesnakes though, and it's a well that used to be a well, and
kill rattlesnakes.
It's a well for grapes because it used to be a vineyard, and it's kind of in the middle of the course, but we have a pallet over that hole, so you don't want to step on the pallet. It's a plastic pallet, so you won't fall through.
Hey, Johnny Red, did you hear they have a pallet covering a hole, so it's safe?
I didn't say anything about it being safe. All right. But you do need to sign a waiver if you're going to play. Another thing, our top course, we have so there's two courses, the lower course, which I just explained, and then the top course. And the top course it used to be a shooting range. So there's like cars pushed on their sides. There's like just junk all over the place, and there's garage doors all over the place, like standing up, and with holes cut out of them that we cut with the chainsaw for windows, and just pallets everywhere. It's just weird junk all over the place, and it's a circular field. So teams start at either end, and it kind of they usually run around the exteriors. It's not like a square.
So much fun to play because you'll like trade sides mid-game just because it's circular. You'll just work your way around the
And there's
field.
just so many bunkers everywhere. You could run straight through the middle. You could run all the way around the exterior. It's pretty wild. But there is glass and rusty nails everywhere. So again, you will possibly get tetanus, and you do have to sign a waiver. And if you're not signing a waiver, you're not playing.
You ain't playing.
Especially Tim Furpo.
Aunt Linda!
And Aunt Linda might be there for our...
Okay.
3 questions, or should we ask a question?
Are you doing YouTube or Facebook questions?
Facebook.
Okay, so I was about to do that. So we're gonna get to some Facebook questions right now. We'll do first one I was gonna start with was favorite CCM. I'm backtracking a little bit. So Dylan, I don't know how you pronounce it. Dylan Key says, "What's your favorite CCM?" I'll start SS25. That's the one I started with. It's a little bit heavier than the modern ones, but it had the smoothest stroke, and it was nice. What about you?
The CCM that I have right now, which is an S5. I had an S6 a long time ago. At the time, I was into like really heavy
metal.
Heavy metal. Well, I don't want to count heavy metal out now.
Women.
Heavy women. Shh.
So gross.
Is she here? I don't think so. Yeah, my S5. I've been shooting it for like the last 6 months or so. I really like it.
And what about you? I know which one you.
That conveniently leads into this. So this is
You're not worthy. You're not worthy.
My baby. It is a woodland camo S6. It's factory. So the ano's straight from CCM. They made I think 6 of the S6s and 4 or 5 of the T2s in this color. And then they did a similar amount in a brindle camo too, which is closer to like desert. Whoops.
Jesus.
And yeah, I love this thing. It's just insanely smooth. This is the best camo ano I've seen on any gun ever.
I agree.
I don't know about you guys.
That is my favorite CCM gun right now.
I want it to be bright though.
Really?
Because
Why
it's like
bright?
I don't know. It's just
It stands out when you're playing.
I just not bright, but I mean like more gloss. Because like right now when you look at it, it's like it's a flat finish.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's something like it has to be like more of a gloss for me.
Got it.
Fair enough.
Well, let's move on to the next one.
Is this a picture?
Favorite paint?
Yeah.
Favorite paint to shoot.
Yeah.
If we're talking favorite current paint, I have no preference because they're so inconsistent. Just simple as that.
I mean,
in the past,
I can agree with that,
CG, I used to like Chronic, White Chronic. I always go back to that. But yeah, nowadays, it's whatever is hopefully 684 or bigger. I try not to shoot anything lower than 684 because it really doesn't fly as far. I don't think it flies as straight. Yeah, just kind of do it day to day with paint nowadays.
Nothing flies as straight as you, Benji.
Straight all day.
I really like the I don't know, the paint that has been sitting in my car for the last 4 months.
Well, I mean, we've been using old.
I mean, we've tried all kinds of stuff, and everything has dimples. It's all like shit.
GI 5-star has been pretty consistent.
That's true.
Is that what we shot at North versus South?
Yeah, and honestly, I've been using.
But even that had dimples, didn't it?
It didn't at Super Game for
Not really.
for me at
Super
least.
Game it was good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
At
guess it's
NXLs,
Super
it's
Game.
been pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Here, the next question: what's crackin' Paul?
Not much.
You want to take the hot seat, Paul? First?
Yeah, you know.
I think you're going in the center.
This is my hot seat.
Question magical
Here we go.
transparent fruit. Oh man, our watermelon's transparent.
We do have some YouTube questions, though.
Yeah, what do we got?
I think no, we went through most of those. Here, I'll start with the next Facebook
Big
one.
B, in some posts you mentioned for a custom.
I already answered
He got that one.
Okay.
Here, I'll do a Facebook one. Anthony D'Ambrosio says, I know you guys are obviously true gentlemen and enjoy vintage markers, much like myself. But out of curiosity, if you had to purchase a modern day Electro, what would be your choice and why?
For me, the LV1, obviously, but if not that, I think I'd get the new Shocker. Because it's like half the price of any other
We don't
high-end
say
gun.
the name Smart Parts in this house.
But it's not. Oh no, actually, this is Smart Parts now.
It's not.
Oh,
It's
by
not GOG.
DLXO?
No, they're
it's still
under Smart
still
Parts brand.
Smart
Parts
Parts.
to this, yeah.
They've disguised it so you don't remember them destroying paintball.
So if
I know,
So,
I know.
You're allowed to have your opinions.
I would get-
Shockers are nice.
I would get the G-Tech, and then I would get the mechanical setup for it.
That's a good.
Hell
call,
yeah.
Yes.
Is that out yet?
No, I don't think so.
So they said
That is cool.
Jack Wood posted on PB Nation, and it sounded like maybe by the end of the year we might see
Okay,
it.
that
so
would
if
be
that
cool.
comes out, honestly, I will buy that.
Oh yeah, I'm all over that. Like
Just
Yeah.
a
it looks
hybrid.
awesome.
Fuck yeah, that'd be nice.
Did they show a model off with a double trigger, or is it just a single trigger?
Single, that sucks.
Single, but someone else, I guess, posted. I don't remember if it was in that thread or later on. Someone posted a mod that they did to a 160R with a pneumatic style trigger like that and everything. And I guess they talked to him, but I guess there's some issue with not being able to put a safety on that design or something. So
So, Dan, what about you? Electronic gun? Someone.
Well, I already said the G-Tech.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
someone here said Dan doesn't know any electros. So I like the LV1, obviously.
I mean, I have a pretty sick
Axe is
tribal.
good for cheaper. There's so many. I mean, every gun over. I mean, shit, any gun is good now.
I've never been a fan of
be
these.
it's not like the days of when spiders
Yeah.
ruled and you know.
Like literally, you could drop $75 and get a dangerous powered G3, and you're good to go. I've won tournaments with G3s. Like,
I really like the new Field one. Well, they're probably one of the older ones, but that one that says Dynasty on the side. It's like kind of that.
G6R.
Is it a G6R? But I like that.
No. It's
God,
They were they were
she says field
no, it's
one.
not a reptile.
they were using them
Onslaught.
They were using them
That's what it
at
would
the
be.
UWL, and
I'm pretty
Sonny
sure it's an
Lopez has
Onslaught.
one too, and it's like some kind of weird.
That's their
camouflage-looking
Victus,
splash.
right? That's like the what they rebranded the
No.
Victus or something, is it?
I could have sworn they were shooting the Onslaughts, but I could
Yeah.
be wrong.
I don't know. I think it did have that tactical rail
Yeah.
look.
But I did talk to a couple of the Dynasty guys. Jeff says it's a tactical G6R. But I did talk to the Dynasty guys, and I'm really excited about Field 1 because Bob Long in the past was awesome. The guns shot fast, they shot well, they competed at every level, but then you'd send the gun to them with a broken solenoid or just something broken, and they'd fix everything. For me, it was almost always free, and I was a nobody. I was just some kid, and literally 10 to 15 times of sending different guns in, I don't think they ever charged me. So I talked to them and they said they want to try to bring the same kind of customer service back. I'm not claiming that they're going to do it free, but if it's anything similar to what it used to be, it's going to be pretty awesome. And the guns themselves are badass. I mean, getting a case off a tank,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
The Intimidator is the only gun I've ever completely destroyed that was unable to be brought back to life. When like I bought my first high-end gun, I got a 2K2 GZ and went to the field with it. Yeah.
Jeez, I still have.
Oh yeah, they shoot awesome.
Are those like the blue matte ones?
yeah,
yeah.
the first
Yeah.
ones that came out were blue matte.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are
Different
sick.
color variations.
Yeah.
Here, Dan.
Although, as I said, I don't like the matte, but on those it was like that was like the stereotypical finish for them,
Ground
right?
Zero was a
Okay,
pretty
Jeff.
historical,
Tactical.
like, old team, right?
Yeah, I guess the Master Blasters, didn't they go into Ground Zero? Isn't that what they were competing with? They were competing as during that time frame. And Ground Zero was also a store in the late 80s, but I'm not
We
super...
can ask Chris Cole. He knows
Yeah.
all about that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But anyway, did you just completely run that
Oh,
underground? And like,
yeah. So what happened was, first high-end gun, I went to a new field I'd never played at before. There was like a speedball field, you know? And I get to the chrono and realize I don't know how to adjust the velocity on it, you know. So I'm adjusting the HPR, and it's not it's not working. And so I asked a couple people around me, like, "Hey, man, do you like know how to fix this?" And everyone's like, "No, no, no." And I go to the
man, that's a little bit too new for us.
you know,
that just came out.
And I go to the counter and was like, "Hey, do you guys know how to fix this?" Like, no, we don't tech guns. All right, so whatever. So I went back and I start fiddling with that, start messing with the thing in the front, and it's shooting at 280 now. Okay, cool. Played all day with it, shoots great and everything. Last game of the day, playing airball, and I'm going, and balls are starting to drop off. I'm going, and finally, just like, it's not going anywhere. Like, I'm out of air, you know? I look at my tank, like, I still got 3,000. That's not good. And it ended up being, I had the LPR pressure so high, I peened the ram over, so it was like that.
Oh, man.
And it never worked again.
So,
the gun was just
so
done.
I have a funny kind of similar story. I got a Proto PM5 that was a prototype before they were actually released, and I didn't know anything about them, and I took it to the local field, and I really think I just needed to turn the velocity down, or I needed to rebuild it somehow. And so it was a Matrix, a PM5, Proto Matrix 5. So I asked the local Matrix guy who was versed in like 2003 Matrixes, right? So he's like, first thing first, totally degas the reg completely by screwing it out all the way.
Oh my gosh.
And then you start screwing it in, right? You air it up and start screwing it in, right? Well, between the DM3 and the PM5, they changed the orientation of the reg screw. So basically, he had me put it out to fully pressurized, and I aired it up, exploded my Noid, and that was it. I ended up trading it for a DM4 and never shot that gun.
That's crazy.
And he's just like, oh, it goes the other way? Sorry.
Oh.
My bad.
By the way, if you're watching, Little Joe, that was you. Tika. That was... Oh, man, that shit was too funny. Okay, Dan, little tech tip here. He's got a 2K2 cocker. He airs it up and it shoots air out of the three-way. What should he be looking for?
What he should do is he should look up paintball.com and he should send it over or ask him what to do. Because BacciPaintball doesn't tech guns, just like the field that Tim was at.
Yeah, Tim actually...
First things first, check your seals, reset your regs. There are various autococker timing guides and setup guides online. If you message me on Facebook, I can link you to them if you're having a hard time finding them. I'm just going to chomp on my invisible watermelon.
You have another question from Pat. He says,
I got
when
two
your
stuff.
Rambo Fish t-shirts are coming out, Bacci.
He needs to ask Andre.
I thought we were waiting on Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to
You know what? Okay, Christian actually brought up a good paint. Gel caps. They're just coming back in, and according to Troy, they're like 684 to 689 bore, and they're consistent. I haven't tried it yet, but gel caps might be a good paint.
I've always had pretty good luck with the Vulcan stuff, Redemption and Graffiti.
I love Vulcan,
yeah, except it seems like I remember I used to pay like 60 to like 70 a case for Redemption. Pay like $80 a case out here.
Damn.
At least the last time I went to go buy it.
Yeah.
Redemption
Hey,
is usually
Justin,
like 55, I think.
Yeah, like that seems like crazy
Yeah.
high, right?
Yep. Hey, Justin, Tim, PB Tech, chimed in and said, it's either your switch seals are bad or the ram seal is bad. So check the ram seal by pulling off the front hose and see if it leaks air from the ram barb. So that's a place to start. Okay.
Do you know how to do the live Instagram?
Send cigars.
I didn't
Send
even know
some
you
this
could do
way.
live Instagram.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there you go.
Live.
Okay. What gun is next? Oh, you got your, what is that, duck slide?
Oh yeah, the duck.
Or
yeah,
duck.
let's talk about that. This is a cool piece of history. So this, I'm just gonna hand this over to you because you're gonna need me to show it off. The stamp there.
I'm not worried of it.
So that is
get
a Kamikaze Shooters DD68. So the story behind this thing is it's Dave Liu, the guy who created the duck, made 10 of these guns for the Kamikaze Shooters, and 8 of them ended up getting built for them before Dave passed away. The remaining 2, Aaron Carter took remilled the body a little bit differently to match his style. And this is one of those too. So you can see on the one side, it's got the Kamikaze Shooter stamp on it, but it's half milled off. It's on the...
Damn, that's pretty
right
cool.
There. Yeah, it's super cool. I've always wanted a duck, and this thing came up, and I was just like...
So who'd you get that one from?
So I bought it off of DM6 Rocker on MCB. And I don't know how he came to be holding on to it, but he was kind of getting out of paintball and everything, and
yeah,
I snatched that right up. So
hey guys, now's a good time if you want us to talk about a certain gun or a certain event. Just send us a message or a comment, and we'll make sure to cover it next week if we haven't gotten to it. Okay, are there any guns we didn't? Oh, you got your level 5 mag.
Oh no, that's actually it's a level 7. But
Level 7.
just kind of a neat.
What else you got in there?
That,
Is that a Super Stalker?
So this is just kind of a neat auto mag with. The reason I bought this is because it has the on-off on the bottom line, and I just wanted to see how they had incorporated this on-off. And it's just like a basic like T on-off that has a
Dang, that's cool.
a plate soldered onto the bottom and then holes drilled in the plate. So I just thought that was kind of cool. I wanted to check it out. And then it has a boa. I think this is the snake bite barrel. And then the body actually has a really cool kind of metallic blue powder
really
coating
cool
finish on it.
Like a sparkle finish you see in
Yeah.
hoopties.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then it also just has a 3.5 ounce tank.
Where's your
just for
spoiler, fool?
An expansion chamber. I don't have a spoiler, but I got the polished rail, yo. So
You need some like blue lights.
blue lights.
oh,
All right.
tighten this.
Tim's got some more goodies to show us.
I got the last. Well, I still got one more twister, I guess, but nobody wants to see that. So
Which twister is that?
I got the CS1. We didn't show that at all. Nobody
no
cares.
one wants to see
Nobody
the
cares about
CS1.
that. So
Garbage. It's garbage.
This one instead is my F5 twister from the last run that they just did.
Don't stop, he's too sexy!
So the color was actually inspired by, there was an old photo on Warpig. I think it was when they released the twisters maybe, but it was a cool photo of this teal color with all chromed out parts, and I mean it was such like a 90s paintball gun, you know? So I wanted to duplicate that, and we added kind of like a black acid wash to the back, and obviously we didn't nickel or chrome plate it because, you know, eventually it fades and looks shitty. So we went with silver anno instead, and yeah, it's awesome, and it's got all sorts of cool little bits from since it's the F5.
Yeah, you shot it before, Benji.
Yeah.
Don't you remember?
Made an impromptu appearance at Spew last year.
Yeah. Tim had it and he was just like showing how great it is.
It looks really nice. What RAM is that?
So it's a ShockTech Bomb 2, it's the SCM3, and then it's a Palmer's RAM, but this is the aluminum RAMs that they're
Yeah,
doing.
I was saying I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Oh, this is anodized aluminum. It's
Yeah,
not
instead
plated.
of brass, yeah.
Oh, the one I have is a plated brass.
Anyone selling a
What's
2K5 pump body?
Those guns not come with matching regs.
So they sold them in the new ones.
Message
They
me.
sold them in like different variations. They did like a couple versions of body kits. Then the top guns were these ones that were fully built cockers. And then they did pumps. So only the pumps and the cockers came with regs.
Said his Paul on the toilet cam.
Yeah, Connor.
Was it Connor?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Come on, Jorge. When are you gonna co-star?
He's too busy auditing people.
Yeah.
Alright, Dan, what kind of mask
Yeah, it's kind of
is this?
messy. I haven't cleaned it from Super Game yet.
Well, it's pretty nice. Your the actual side-to-side play on your plate is like very minimal.
Yeah.
That's the AGH7 mask.
I mean, that's all down to Tim Furpo
Rock
and
that.
T2. You know, they stayed up for like hours building all the F5 guns. So
Yeah. Pretty nice.
yeah, I like it. Shot it all Super Game. Shot awesome. Big fan.
I would go with black, but
Yeah.
it has enough black on it for me. So.
I was gonna say, Tim like basically built all of those guns, right?
Yeah. They did live streams, all sorts of fun with that and everything, and it shows these guns shoot awesome. My dad has one too. My dad does all his twister guns.
Dad.
I know. Everyone makes fun of the way I say it.
Wait, where are you from?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. The Hick sound. No, I'm from the Hick side.
What other funny things?
I don't really notice
That's
it.
the only thing that I know.
But that's
that
how you've
everyone-
always. That's how you've always called your dad.
Now I'm gonna be listening
Yeah.
every time you talk. What funny things are you saying?
That's the only one that I've ever had people pick up on. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, first strike revolver would be pretty sick.
I mean, any revolver could essentially be first strike because your balls are loading in from your actually revolving cylinder.
So I know that. See, I've only seen the 50 cal revolvers. Do you know of any 68s?
Yeah, the Dookie.
There's the Dookie one.
The
I think
Dookie,
that's
but
pretty
something
much-
that's a bit easier to use.
I think that's pretty much the only one.
Have you ever shot one of those? Didn't you?
I've
did you
had
have
one.
Did you ever have one?
No, I've seen them, but I've never actually shot one or anything.
Yeah, I would shoot the shit out of that. I would love it. But, I mean, isn't that kind of silly having the first strike out of a revolver? Because, I mean, your aim isn't going to be perfect. You kind of want to be planted.
I mean, you could do it like, like a Mauser with the broom handle stock,
Yeah, I mean,
He says, Paul looks like a Power Rangers. The second Power Rangers reference.
I mean,
Go,
I
go,
still think
Power
like
Ranger!
I guess it could be more Power Ranger than Ninja
Does it look like
Turtle.
the Halo?
It looks like a Ninja Turtle to me.
Halo mask from that shooter, first-person shooter?
You mean the shooter first-person Halo?
You don't need to like explain Halo, Paul. It's
Paul?
Halo or it's not Halo.
It kind of looks like the Halo mask.
I think it looks like that mask from the first-person shooter. What's it called? It's the Halo first-person shooter, but I can't remember what it's
All
called.
Halos are
Counter-Strike.
first-person shooters.
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike. That's it.
Counter-Strike.
Paul's like, wait, we're
Wait,
talking
what?
Counter-Strike?
Paul's like,
It's getting serious right now.
Paul's like, no, I know Counter-Strike. There's no helmet like this in Counter-Strike. Although I've seen Connor use a knife on those chickens enough to think that. Maybe.
That's all Connor does, is he goes on Counter-Strike just to freaking slash that chicken
Trolls
apart.
people on Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
And he pretends he's Ronnie Coleman.
You know what? I'm kind of underwhelmed by Jeff and Connor today because I'm not feeling the troll. You know,
Don't
They're actually being helpful. They're
All
asking
right,
nice questions.
Let's see what else we got.
It's kind of ridiculous.
All right, so what other new products are you guys excited about? One thing that I'm excited about is the Inception Designs bolt that takes the actual Eclipse foamies on the end. I've wanted to try that one. Have either of you guys tried that?
I haven't tried it yet.
I don't have any because it's only 2K and pre-2K.
Oh.
It's not a P block, and all my cockers are P blocked.
Gotcha.
So I want to try it, but I've got that new Kraken body on order though.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm gonna put it in that probably.
Those
Yeah.
Kraken bodies are nice.
I
Yeah,
know,
those are pretty
right?
sweet.
He kind of offered me one in trade before he released them, and I really should have jumped on it because, I mean, they're freaking awesome looking guns.
Yeah, they are.
It kind of resembles that Billy
The Wraith.
Saransky
Well-
Bumblebee cocker.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, the
can kinda
line's
see
on the
that.
side, but it more so resembles the Wraith.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
had a
Am I saying that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wraith?
Wraith, yeah,
Wraith.
it's a
Wraith. Yeah, I have one, but it was milled off, so it's like
You
it's like
guys
a
know
bone.
that new Predators were shipped out this past week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw Walner was showing.
I thought people had already gotten them, but
I think a couple people picked him up from like Simon when he had him at a booth maybe or
Oh, at
something, like a
paintball,
couple like
or even
display models or
Probably
something.
not at Paintball Expo, but like at the East Coast events. that he's been
Yeah,
traveling
yeah,
to.
I think so.
Yeah, cool.
Those are really nice though.
Trying to
Or
think.
actually, how do you
What
guys
other
feel
new
about
equipment?
that? Because I've heard kind of people have mixed feelings about
About the
bringing the
Predator?
Predator back and everything.
so we kind of discussed it in an earlier show, but I'm kind of like, don't remake the old school like that. I mean, he makes amazing cockers, but like, I didn't see the need to make another Predator. Like, there's old Predators, and people are pining over them, and that is fun to actually go after one of them because they're rare, but I don't know, I don't like forced rarity.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say that he's not really forcing anything. It's the Predators are using these new guns, and they're made for that team.
I
just
thought
like
they were also available for the public.
They are, but that's how it was for the old Predator autocockers as well. And it's not like someone's going to confuse the two. They're very different guns.
Yeah.
It's not like he's machining them to look
that's
exactly
true.
the same.
100% different.
And they cost, the cost is not cheap. It's significant enough that no one's going to be
Well,
buying
I guess
them
that's the thing that kind of
and-
annoyed me.
that they cost so much to begin with.
Well, because
I mean, it's a
because
very-
literally it's almost the same gun. His $500 gun will shoot the same as the Predator, so it's like I couldn't bring myself to spend the extra $700 just for the name, but I mean, there are guys who will.
Well, if you bought a complete, what's the Hornet, the Retro Hornet? Is that what it's called, the Retro Hornet? If you bought one of those that was complete, it's going to be probably like $800 or $900, right?
I think it was $8.
Yeah, so I mean that's
maybe it was
$300 away, and I think there are some special things that maybe come with the Predator that maybe set it apart from that. I don't know.
I guess for me, it's just like I guess he shouldn't have made his mid-end guns so nice. Like I love, he's got like the Ripper bodies. I'm seeing for
that's the thing. Like you can pick
awesome.
up a $100 basic autococker and you can change a couple things and it'll shoot nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be any autococker with the right tuning.
Yeah. So personally, I wouldn't go for the Predator, but there's definitely the market for it. It's gonna shoot awesomely. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's just not my cup of tea, personally.
Yeah.
So, building off...
What up, Jay? Oh, hey, someone was sent by Jake. Yes, go ahead.
Building off that, what about the new ShockTech guns? Because they're doing that the remake of their classic body in the new style, too.
I mean, there's a market for it. I think they're pretty nice. What are they priced at? Do you know?
I want to say about the same as the Predators, but I don't really remember.
I can't spend $12 on a new one when you can get an old Evo for the same price, and I would dig the older gun.
I like the look of the old school SFL that they're making. It's like the old school looking one.
That one is nice.
That one I really like the look of it. Any thoughts, Paul?
About Predators?
Or general input to toss in?
I mean, I don't really mind that they brought the Predator back. It's just ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, I mean, think about the fact that you can pretty much pick up like 2 cap flames for a Predator.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a cap flame is going to be, a really nice one is going to be $900 probably, $700 to $900. An undrilled one, and I mean, Predators, they seem like they've been going for 12 to 13. People will say more, but the ones that I've seen selling are...
My point is you can get 2 very nice custom rare old cockers for the price of a brand new one.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
But I think,
old school.
you kind of look at this like maybe it's bringing in a lot of players who haven't really bought into autocockers yet, kind of want to try that.
Yeah, and that's one major thing. Simon is selling cockers to people who would never have bought a cocker.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's awesome. He's growing the sport, and he's growing the old school, and it's amazing. I love where the whole scene is going.
Yeah.
Seems like it's exploding.
I was actually talking to Mark Crescent, one of the owners of HK. I don't think he's ever owned a cocker, but that Predator autococker, as soon as he found out it was going to be released, he bought one. So that's like his first stuff.
Cool.
And he's been playing paintball like almost...
He's never owned a cocker?
Yeah, he must have.
Come
He was an
on.
electro guy.
No, but even so, he was playing since the 90s.
Yeah,
Maybe he was an Automag
I
guy.
believe he never owned an autococker. From what I was talking
I mean,
about.
HK is, it was Hostile Kids, right?
Yeah.
And so they were associated somehow with Hostile Takeover, and Hostile Takeover had autocockers, so...
I think it was a little bit after Hostile Takeover.
Well, Rosette's here, so that means
We're pretty much calling it a night.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed our banter and our guns. You can still leave comments on this same thread that we can check out if you want us to bring out certain old guns from our collections, or if you want us to talk about certain games or certain new or old equipment. Just let us know. Let's see.
What class is being played at Jungle Island on the 1st? I'm not sure.
I think it's modified stock.
Yeah.
And then I think he wanted to do 12-gram games after lunch, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it doesn't usually... If we start with something else, we're not going to go back.
So that's for SoCal stock, right?
Yeah.
So for
SoCal
anybody
stock.
who plays Pump and lives in SoCal, SoCal stock is having a game at Jungle Island in Lake Elsinore on July 1st. I think you said modified stock?
I think it's modified
So it's
stock.
stick feeds with tanks or whatever tank setup you want.
Sonny was also posting ammo boxes. Pictures of ammo boxes.
You think he's going to make
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? I think the modified stock was this last week.
Yeah, except
And-
for it was really just hoppers. Everybody was just using hoppers with tubes.
Right. Okay. Are you shutting it off? It's done?
I think so.
All right.
I think that
Later,
was all.
everybody.
Cool.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right.